Have you ever had a plate of food placed in front of you and gone just wow? And what's even more amazing is the fact you've not even tasted it yet. Well, this is probably because of the way the dish was envisioned, designed and executed. Because from the best chefs, this doesn't happen by accident. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of plate hierarchy to find out why it's essential to make beautiful designs that communicate to the diner a sense of intentionality and precision, no matter the style or theme of the dish. So a good place to probably start is what on earth is hierarchy in plate design and presentation? Hierarchy is all about establishing a visual roadmap for the diner's eyes. It's the difference between a haphazard collection of ingredients and a dish that feels thoughtfully composed. Think of hierarchy as a way of organising your plate. It's about communicating which element is the star of the show, and then arranging the other components around in a way that supports your intended message. Just as an interior designer sets the mood for a room, the way you arrange your plate subtly prepares the diner for the experience that's to come. A meticulously arranged plate with delicate garnishes hints at a refined, perhaps even artistic sensibility, while a bountiful rustic presentation suggests warmth, comfort and abundance. But beyond just aesthetics, hierarchy adds a layer of excitement to your plate. It prevents elements from blending into an indistinguishable mess, instead inviting the eye to wander and discover different textures and colours. The way you guide the diner's gaze can even subtly influence their perception of the first bite. Focusing their attention on the perfectly seared scallops or a vibrant swirl of sauce tells them where to begin, which shapes those first essential flavour impressions. Ultimately, hierarchy reflects your intentions as a chef. It's a way to communicate your culinary philosophy without any words. For example, do you prioritise showcasing pristine ingredients? Is there a playful element to your dishes that you want to highlight? The way you create visual dominance and flow across the plate tells a story that enhances the entire dining experience.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it starts with what I want to achieve. Do I want something that's visually really refined? Do I want a bigger plate and then a small petite dish? I think from a design point of view, once I've got the flavours and the textures sorted, when I'm thinking about plating, I think about the ingredients, I think about the colour. I want every ingredient to shine on that plate.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, what I'm trying to bring is evoke a feeling. I guess, you have to think what feeling or what meaning do you want to bring out? What meaning has it got to you as well? Because you can play out the dish and it can be theatrical, but also everyone's got a different perspective. So it can have a different meaning for everyone, even if it's the same dish. So I like to just play around with people's minds and just, again, evoke something from them. And for me, my niche is releasing your inner child. So that's why it can be quite playful, quite bizarre at times.
Yeah. Hierarchy, when done well, is like a secret language that influences the diner without them even realising it. We'll cover everything from the basics to the three-stage process that makes a truly stunning plate. They are: attract the eye, spark intrigue, and deliver the perfect bite. This three-stage process of culinary hierarchy is all about influencing the diner's experience at the very first glance. First, you have the attract phase. It's the eye catcher, the element on your plate that commands attention the moment it comes into view. Think of this as highlighting your star ingredient. Whether through vibrant colour, size, height, or an unexpected presentation element, once you've got their attention, it's time for intrigue. This is where you create the visual adventure, guiding them across the plate. Use contrast to keep things eye-catching. Play with textures, colours, and even negative space. The goal is about sparking curiosity, making them want to explore the entire dish before taking that first bite. Finally, we reach the deliver the flavour. Remember, a gorgeous presentation falls flat if the taste doesn't follow through. Make sure your visual focal point delivers on flavour, and consider how the plate design might lead the diner towards experiencing the perfect combination of elements from the start. Think of this process as a tool, not a rigid formula. Depending on your dish, you might want a subtle attract and flavour-forward finish, or let the intrigue phase really shine. The key is understanding how your plating decisions shape the diner's entire experience. Are you ready to unlock your plating potential? Join our thriving Facebook community of passionate platists. It's a space to connect, get inspired, share your creations, and get feedback from fellow food enthusiasts. Plus, I've created an exclusive Plate Like a Pro checklist, a handy tool to make sure your dishes always have that wow factor. Click on the link below and start transforming your plates today. So let's talk about how you can use hierarchy to make your dishes look even more appealing. It's about guiding the diner's eye and creating a sense of visual importance. As you've seen from my videos, colour is such a powerful tool. Bright, saturated colours naturally draw our attention. So consider using a touch of vibrant sauce, fresh herbs, or even some edible flowers to add a focal point. You can also create visual interest through contrast. Think warm tones against cool shades, or light against dark. Height can add a further dimension to your plating. Taller elements stand out, whether it's a carefully arranged protein or a playful garnish. Think of your tallest element as the starting point for your diner's gaze. Size and proportion are also key. Larger elements feel more important. This is especially true for your main protein. Think of it as the star of your plate. You should use size to create contrast and guide the eye, perhaps with smaller, delicate garnishes against more substantial main components. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, do not underestimate the simple power of placement. And this is where you need to consider the dining angle. You need to imagine how your plate will look from the perspective of the diner once it's been placed on the table. Avoid positioning key elements where they might be hidden by the rim of the plate or obscured by other components. It's so important to communicate your intended hierarchy with the waiting staff. They need to know which is the front of the plate, so it can be placed correctly for the most impactful view for the diner.
You know, when I work with chefs, actually having an eye for telling the story on the plate actually does help, so you can see everything, because sometimes things will be covered or what have you. So I mean, those things can impinge the photography side of it, if you see what I mean, as opposed to what it looks like when you dine, because it is different, like the angle you look at it from and things like that. Sure, it can just make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, most restaurants, the angle that you look at it from, as you rightly say, when we send food across the pass, we will send it to the waiters or waitresses. You know, I want them to put the food down in front of them the way I have just placed it.
Yeah.
That's really important. Nothing annoys me more where they touch the edge of the bowl and oh, it's a bit hot, and they spin it a little bit and put their hand around. I'm like, I want that to go to them like that.
Yes.
That's why we plated it like that. If you're just going to spin it around and put it down anyway, they're not going to get the experience that we want them to have. Not that it's all about me, but I want my bit, as I explained earlier, my bit, when it goes out the door, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
To the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Consider how your layout might guide the eye, suggesting a first bite or encouraging diners to explore the whole plate. You can find more composition techniques, including things like negative space, rule of thirds, in a recent video that I'll place here or in the description below. Remember, the best chefs and platists use these techniques in combination. It's about creating a dish that is visually appealing, but also complements the flavours you've worked so hard to carefully craft. So the next time you're plating a dish, take a moment to consider hierarchy. It's more than just making your food look nice. It's about guiding the diner's experience and ensuring your culinary message comes through clearly. Now that you understand the principles of hierarchy, it's time for you to start applying them. Look at your dishes and think about where you could create a stronger visual focus. Could a different sauce placement or a pop of colour do the trick? Pay attention to how you can use contrast, height, and even empty space to make your plating more impactful. Remember, hierarchy is a flexible tool. It can be used to create a sense of drama or a feeling of understated elegance. Your approach should always complement the flavours and concept of your dish. So with just a little practice, you'll find that thinking about hierarchy becomes a natural part of your design process, helping you to create dishes that are as visually appealing as they are delicious. Now, if you're in the mood for some experimentation, but don't want to make the same old errors as everyone else, then can I suggest you watch this video coming up now? It's all about the 5 most common mistakes that can sabotage the plate design process. Thanks again for watching, and keep creating dining fables worth telling.